Hey guys, Ron Onesti here. We are hanging. I am hanging with two of my best buddies in the business. I gotta say, you two, Pasqualino, Louie, your rise to stardom, your rise to fame. We joke a little bit about it, because but the reality is, by the way, this is Uncle Louie Pasqualino coming to Des Plaines Theater November 12th. And we're so excited for their triumphant return. But where I was going with this, guys, is, thing I love about you guys, you're neighborhood guys. You are from the neighborhood. You're one of us. You understand where we come from, all that kind of stuff. But what's been happening to you guys over the past few years, really, not to get teary-eyed, they're talking about an American dream situation here, right?
Literally, right? Yeah, seeing that half of the duel here is from Italy. It is an American dream. It's something that we always joke about, but we're taking more serious the more and more we talk about it. We should write a book because we're just two guys that were young kids that used to hang out in our basement writing jokes, and now we tour the world, literally tour the world, Australia, Canada, America. And it's just, yeah, we it blows our mind. It's surreal for us, and we're in it.
That's right. I remember the time we first started talking, and Louie, you were working at what was that, elevator company, whatever the heck that was. And you, but seriously, again, we did kind of, get together a while ago, and you guys had your day gigs and trying to figure out how to make this a career. And you made the jump, you made the leap, you're successful at it. You're favored all over the world. And it's just exciting to see you guys. You came out on your own, at our invitation, of course, in Chicago, to be a part of our Columbus Day Parade, our biggest one ever. And you blew people away. Someone actually came up to me. You're not going to believe this. This happened. They said, "Where did you find the Uncle and Pasqualino tribute act?" Thinking they're impersonators, because it couldn't be them.
We're already impersonated.
No, it's freaking them.
we already have a tribute band.
Oh my gosh! You've made it.
We have a tribute band.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
That's the first.
Yeah, that's a big thing about the last few years. When we made that jump, the thing was we made that jump, and then a year and a half later, the thing happened. I'm not going to say anything.
And no one speaks.
And it was pretty brutal for a little bit for a lot of people, for all the entertainers. And
sure.
Now it's just flying back up. Everybody's going out having a good time. So it's wonderful right now. It's wonderful. So,
I think to tell you, your show is it's an all immersive experience. I mean, really, what you guys do is you bring us to a time when we laugh at ourselves. That shows that we have confidence in who we are, right, and we're proud of who we are. You do take some of our what can we call it, eccentricities to levels.
Mm-hmm.
And it's
right,
hysterical. I mean, because we can identify with that. But
what
do we have to? Well, it is. It's a great experience. You know what I love? When I put on these shows, I see people come in. They look at the entertainer on the stage. They're having a great time. That's what they're looking at. I'm backstage or in my box, or they're looking down. I'm looking at the people and watching their responses, watching how their experience is going, for that night and for future nights, and I gotta say, your situation, your show is like a New Year's Eve party. When you go with your spouse, it's just you two, or your significant other, whatever it is,
right?
And you're like, well, we hope there's some, maybe we'll meet somebody, another couple or something, and then you leave. You got 20 friends. Love you. I'll call you. Stay in touch. That's what your show is. It's not just a comedy show. People hear you on stage. It's a whole family. By the end of the show, everyone's identified, everyone's had a great time, and they leave one big happy family.
Yeah, it's we call it a big nunna's house, like everybody's finally back for the
Sunday dinner,
one show. Everybody's getting together. A lot of people haven't seen each other in years. and they come to like our Syracuse show. We sold out our Syracuse show a few weeks back, and there were people. I haven't seen my cousins, and then we all got together. People were buying 40 ticket blocks. It was insane, and it's amazing after the show when there's like, this brought me back. People are crying, and not crying bad, tears of joy. Like I have
tears of joy.
Seen this and remembered this, and we remember all that stuff. You were my nonno, you were my uncle. Oh my gosh. And that's very humbling. So
I think people need it. People need this. They need, I start always the show saying that, we grew up old school, and I know the world needs a little bit of old school. We need to be together again. We need to know our family. We need to know our aunts, uncles, cousins. We need to have that celebration that we used to have, that respect, and that has gone. And what we want to do, as you've known us for years, we want to bring this back. Even if it's for an hour and a half on stage, let people remember this so they can go home and go, you know what? Let me call my cousin. Let me have dinner with my kids and have them come over. And I think a lot of people are doing that, and they're finding out, you know what? We don't have to lose that. We can continue it with our kids, and they can continue it, because if we don't, we're not going to exist. We're not going to exist. So that's what we want to do.
You're bringing back respect in a couple ways. What the world needs now is the respect of the wooden spoon. We go back to the respect of the wooden spoon. There's so much truth to that statement. Yeah. And somehow the wooden spoon winds up in your show here and there. So it says a lot. So what I want to touch on, really what this is about, guys, is once again to welcome you back to Chicago, November 12th at Des Plaines Theater. People come to see you every year. There are those people seeing you all the time. What do they have to look forward to for this show? What's different? What you could actually tell us anyway?
Well, one of the things is there's a lot of people that want to see the old stuff. Even though the Tsias, you're definitely going to see the Tsias are coming. Tsias are coming. Tsiarosa, Maria, everybody's coming. So everybody's worried about the Tsias. Oh, are they going to come? Everybody's coming. Yeah. Okay.
Chicago usually gets them.
We usually say this for our fans and stuff like that. If you want to see a sketch or something, that inbox us, we'll take a pic, and we'll basically say, okay, the most people want this sketch, and we'll fit it in. The nice thing about our show, we can plug and play, and we can just do a lot of different things for our audience, which makes it fun for them. Yeah, and they're part of it.
So you're gonna get a little bit. We have a new song that we didn't do last time there. New skits with the Zias. And like you said, sometimes you do all the music, all the bands. They want to hear the hits. They want to see the hits. Yeah. And the minute you don't do that, they'll go, I was hoping you guys did this. And we're like, we just took that out. So we have to play a very fine line of, okay, what can we use where people are not going to go, I saw the same thing, but not throw away where people go, they should have done this. So it's tricky, but I think we've succeeded.
That's why when they inbox us, and we get a lot of inboxes here and there and say, please do this at the show. If I see 10 or we see like 10, 15, all right, we'll take that little block, little 3-4 minutes, 5 minutes, and make everybody, we do our best to make everybody happy. And when we started this, we wanted to not just do stand-up, we wanted to create an experience for people. And we do 2 hours on stage, as you know. And if you do one thing for 2 hours, that's tough. People go to sleep. Right. So sketches, music, stand-up, different things coming at you all the way through, where people are like, what, it's over?
I mean, how many shows are you going to get a fairy tale in the middle of it, and people are just asking for more? That's what we love to do. We love to take a crazy thing, a crazy idea. Like one comedian came up to us, a good friend of ours, Freddie, and he came to us in Florida, and the first time he saw us, and he walked up to us and he goes, in comedy, having a 10 to 15 minute skit is murder. It's suicide.
Heck yeah.
And you guys killed it. You wanted more. It was, and we never thought of it because we're not coming from the traditional stand-up or comedy. We got into this, like we wanted to get
make something different. And the variety show, like Carol Burnett, Dean Martin, the variety shows where they were constantly hitting you with some different things and you enjoyed every little thing and then something else come up. That's exactly the experience we want to give our people.
You guys definitely break the rules as far as structure of comedy and the timing. But, and I think part of it is because it's so real. We identify with it. This isn't a story, how did they, boy, my wife is so fat, or how,
right.
How did the chicken cross the road? Jokes. I mean, that kind of thing. It's not like that.
Right.
It's just a perspective. It's a comedic perspective that we can identify with. And it's like, oh yeah, and again, the audience, when I see one guy in row C stand out, say, hey, to the guy in row M, hey, my cousin's over there, my friend's over there.
Yeah.
It's a great night, man.
Yeah. It's a family event, and that's what we started with, the idea, and it's come to fruition. And now people, like you've said, people become friends that never knew each other. Our threads, our lives, our stuff. We have people in different cities, different states, different countries that literally all know each other because of the Uncle Louie Variety Show. There could be people in Australia talking to someone in Chicago, and they've known each other now for 6-7 years, but they've never met each other. They're totally, so that's crazy that we have this familia, that this family that travels not only to shows, but on the internet. And they're very, very loyal. That's the word, very loyal.
It's a very humbling experience for us to know that people actually became friends.
That's crazy.
Very good friends,
lifelong
through
friends.
Our show. And we love that. And that's exactly what keeps us going and keeps our drive. And every time we do a new sketch, we're thinking, okay, how is this, make sure this is authentic. It has to be authentic. It's exaggerated a little bit, but it has to be authentic in those parts where you're like, oh my God, my dad said that every single day, and that's what catches people. And so we're very humbled by that.
I remember, not to go on, but I remember our first and only time we were in Australia, and the woman that got us, our promoter, Savannah, she looked at us and she goes, you know what I like about you guys? We're like, what? She goes, I love that when you guys are in character. And at that time, a lot of guys were doing the Zias, their versions of it, but they all had like their beards and they didn't really. She goes, you guys get into it. You got clean shaved faces. You got the wigs. You literally, as ugly as we look, I'm sorry, we still, and she goes, I love that about you guys. You guys go into the character. It's like I'm watching real women, even though we know, so, and that's one thing we love to, like he's talking about being authentic. It's something that we want to do is we watched our family, we watched how their mannerisms were and how they did it and what skeeved them and what got them excited. And I think we bring that out when we're in these characters. Uncle Louie, Pasqualino, and all that. So I think people believe it. They believe it. What they're seeing, they believe. There's not two guys with beards down to here trying to be women. We transform that whole stage into their living room, and that's what they what they love.
We kind of forget what we grew up with because it was so normalized for us.
Right.
Then when it's gone. And then you see it in our sketches, in our mannerisms, our facial expressions, our little, could be an eyebrow twitch that my father used to do this, just his face would be looking at me, I'm trying to tell him about something I'm excited about. He's like, Where's his face?
Just a deadpan.
And you forget those things and it brings it all back. And when you see those people out in the crowd that see us for the first time, and then they come and see us afterwards, they're like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe you brought everything back. So that's what we're really
doing. And Ron, the crazy thing is, not crazy, the thing that makes sense is now more than ever, we are getting non-Italians, we are getting Irish, we're getting German, we're getting, African-American, we're getting Asian, we're getting Portuguese. They are coming out. Mm-hmm. When we do our meet and greets, as you know, we do our meet and greets every show. We have more people coming to us, more and more saying, I'm Irish or I'm German. I love this. This is how, this is how we grew up in this way as well. So we turned we used to say Italian American, but now it's old school. Everybody grew up this way. You don't have to be a certain ethnicity. Everybody grew up this way. So now we kind of changed it into like an old school show.
Yeah, it's an old school comedy experience
right.
is basically what we decided to call it. And because everybody's been coming up, we have Jewish people, like you said, Irish, every nationality. Because old school is old school. It doesn't matter what culture you're from.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah, that's right. Well, I tell you what, man. You know, like I said, because people, again, watching the folks at the show as they walk out, half of them are talking like you in character, and the other half have tears of just, you know, they're telling their own story as it pertains to what just happened on stage. You know, how it was relevant. Do you remember Arcia? Do you remember what they did on that Sunday dinner? It was just like that. Now you guys touch people in a way that we've been so happy to be a part of, especially here in Chicago. We're happy that we've been a part of it since around the beginning, and we're honored to be a part of your growth. Thank you for really respecting Chicago too. You've been into the Italian festival. You've been to the Columbus Day Parade. I mean, you come in, you embrace us as brothers and sisters, as if we were all from upstate New York. So love you guys very much. Can't wait to see you. Oh my goodness. You know, a lot of my shows, I go on stage, you know what I do? I introduce everything. Then I get in the car and I go, you're one of those shows. I am sitting there from the beginning to the end, enjoying it. I personally cannot wait. As a fan, love you guys. I'll see you November 12th at the Des Plaines Theater.
All right.
We love you, Ryan.
Love you, man.